Lovely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us on today's edition of Unity Trend on Unity 93.3 FM. From the hills of ZINARIYA in just North Plateau State, Nigeria, we are reaching you live. The voice of reason, Iji Adamu, is my name, and today happens to be Monday, the very first edition of Unity Trend for this week, and it's 13th day in the month of May, the year 2024. It's lovely. You can call me Kobe if you like, and I'll be just fine in the studio. You know, this program has 3 segments to eat. The first 30 minutes is review. We get to look at issues as we have them right from Plateau and nationwide, of course. And again, the second 30 minutes we get to discuss at length. We, unfold a topic and we look at it in depth. The last 30 minutes you get to join us, and together we make it happen. So this is why you are the most important ingredients and elements of this program. And so in the studio this morning, I have the very individual who believes that there is no reasons to be biased in terms of political analysis. He is Barrister Paul Zaruma, and he will be coming your way with nothing less than a big good morning, even this morning, to our listener and viewer.
A big good morning to you, listeners and viewers. Good afternoon, good evening, as the case may be, and also depending from where you are receiving us from. I will ask, how was your weekend? Kulbi, how was your weekend?
Mine was lovely.
How was your weekend?
Mine was lovely.
You know, I had a lovely weekend with a series of meetings, went for visitations, and then it was crowned by the finals of the STF, the final of the Peace Cup of STF yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the final was very colorful. The Uja of Anaguta was the royal father of the day. It was between Tafa Balewa of Bauchi, local government of Bauchi State, and Jos South. And it was very interesting that Jos South won with by 3-0. 3-1. 3-1. It was a wonderful one for Plateau State. Bokos clinched the 3rd place. So you can see that Plateau State is leading in terms of football. So having Jos South winning and then Bokos taking the 3rd place. We celebrate. It was a clash of vigor, strength, talent, and energy. So we really appreciate the STF for organizing that Peace and Unity Cup. A lot of guests were there. So it was really an eventful Sunday yesterday.
All right, thank you, Mr. Victor Damtor. Thank you for coming all the way the other day to talk about this match that just went by. Okay, in the studio this morning, I'm so honored again to have to my left-hand side Professor Proveno Heads Bamayi. Someone called me earlier and said, oh, he's very happy because he's going to be hearing our voices in the studio this morning. And that's Mr. Kingsley Barnabas. Now, who they do us? And so you've heard one of the voices you've always listened to on this very day, and the second one is coming your way with nothing less than a big good morning too. But of course, get ready because you'll be answering questions of if you have done something about your goals. That I know. It's time for us to begin to have answers from you if you're doing anything about your goals. Else, Prof will stay away from saying things about your goals. Anyway, good morning, Prof.
Good morning, Kulbi. Good morning, Barrister. Viewers and listeners, a wonderful good morning to you in other parts of the world. Good afternoon and good evening. We are glad that you're joining us on Unity FM Radio 93.3 and Unity TV. Those watching on Facebook, YouTube, we are glad that you're part of this broadcast, this beautiful and wonderful morning. Let me use this opportunity to say I had a very eventful weekend also, fantastic, full of activities. Viewers and listeners will recall that last year we lost the SWAT commander for Plateau State, Superintendent of Police, Gwadinahum Eli. On Saturday we had the 6 months memorial service because he was buried on Saturday 11th November 2023, if I'm precise. So we had a funeral service. It was another time to reflect on his life and contribution and to mourn the exit of a gallant police officer who has given his life to do so many things for the country, Nigeria. His parents, the father is late. He was also a commissioner of police at one time. The mom is still alive, a retired commissioner of police. And we are related because she's a junior sister to my late mom. So it was a family gathering with people across the country. And I want to continue to celebrate the lives and times of Superintendent of Police, Nahum Gwadi Eli. And you know, on that Saturday, as soon as I left the place, only to receive some bad news, as it were. One of our junior colleagues, Dr. Japhet Nuhu Pata, was declared missing since May 6th, 2024. He took a bolt from Kagini to Jabi in Abuja at about 9 p.m. on that day, and nothing was heard of him. On Saturday, after I left the memorial service for Superintendent of Police, Gwadi Nahum Eli, we received a message from one of the AIGs that our colleague who was declared missing, his dead body was found after about 5-6 days. So he was brutally murdered. A young veterinary doctor practicing in the FCT, full of energy, very respectful young man, and very dynamic and energetic, and very professional and ethical. Unfortunately, he died a brutal death that we're yet to get the details of who killed him and how. But since he boarded a bolt, I think it should be easy to track his journey and where he was dropped or whatever happened. So we hope that the police will unravel the mystery surrounding the death of Dr. Japhet Nuhu Pata, a veterinary doctor practicing in the FCT. But again, probably it's good news to celebrate Muhammad Debi of Chad Republic, who has been sworn in as the 7th president of the Republic of Chad at 40 years old, being born 1984. I think he would turn 40 in September 15th, 2024. His father was killed in 2021 in a battle with the rebels, and immediately became the president of the Military Transitional Council, and now he has succeeded himself. His father ruled Chad Republic for 30 years plus, and the son is coming to continue the dynasty of leading and ruling that West African country. But yesterday, Kulbi, we had a fantastic time. This is the spiritual angle at the redemption camp at Kasa, Barikin Ladi local government of Plateau State. The governor was there. The former governor was also there. So His Excellency Caleb Manasseh Mutfam was there. Pastor Dr. Jonah David Jang, Senator Jonah David Jang was also there. And of course, the who is who in Plateau State were gathered there yesterday to celebrate God's mercies over Plateau State and to pray for Plateau State. Pastor Iya Deboye, the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, who arrived just on Wednesday last week, has been ministering over the weekend. He just left yesterday. And this is the first time in 7 years that he's coming for such a major program on the plateau due to insecurity and the likes of it. But yesterday he promised the people of Plateau that from now henceforth, security or insecurity, whatever is happening, every year I'll be returning back to Plateau State. He's 82 years old, but he still has the energy of a 30-year-old. So we celebrate Pastor Enoch Adejari Adeboye, the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, for the great work he's doing. He's one man that has remained focused in the ministry instead of dabbling into politics. We've had some clergymen who would jump into politics and say, God said they'll become president, and then they will come back again and continue, as clerics and all that. But People like Pastor Adeboye have remained focused over the years. So let me quickly also remind viewers and listeners, your goals for 2024, please make sure you achieve them. Those goals must be SMART, that means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So I'm asking you, how far so far have you gone? Because next month, June, will be half of the year. Then half of the year will have been gone. So please remain focused so you can achieve your goals for 2024. And always remember to be the change that you want to see in the world.
All right, lovely. This is Monday's edition of Unity Train on your radio this morning. And so let's just begin with the dailies as we have them. Okay, but before then, very quickly, security is your business. Let peace be your every moment companion. Keep your environment clean, ensure environmental hygiene, and do not stigmatize people living with disability. When you see something, do not say something, but say the very thing that you have seen. Happy Monday once again. And so, okay, electricity tariff hike. Labor demands reversal as protest begins today. Another one says National State Assembly to spend 724 billion in 2024. Banks chiefs obtained 549 billion naira inside a loan in 5 years. And another one, Rivers lawmakers who defected to APC have lost their seats. This one is by Falani. And then stop electricity subsidy. IMF tells federal government. Barrister Paul Zaruma, okay, the ball is in your court. So, Barrister, Prof would say, just start anywhere. If there's water everywhere in the studio, you don't begin to, where do I start? Just start from anywhere at least. So,
all right. We will start from the point of Rivers State's House of Assembly members that defected to APC.
So we go politics first, yes. You're welcome, Barrister.
Femi Falana said they have lost their seat. Femi Falana is a respected luminary, an SAN, and a renowned human rights activist internationally. However, so many lawyers like us, we have disagree with some of his opinion now. This is a blanket opinion.
It's his opinion.
Yes, okay. That opinion is a blanket opinion. Yes, they lose their seat, but who implements that? Is it the speaker? Is it the governor? Or is it the house? Is it the speaker, the governor, or is it the court? So you don't make such blanket statement. Yes, by the law, if you defect, the law is clear on the principles of defection. If you want to defect from one political party to the other, there must be a crisis in that political party that you are living. And the crisis, the Constitution clearly spells out that the crisis must be such that the party is polarized. That means when there is a faction, so you have you have two factional leaders, and then one, yes, then that will give you an opportunity for you to defect. But the problem is, once there is that crisis, and then the person eventually defects, who determines that the seat is vacant? Now, if the speaker is the one that will determine the seat is vacant, that is where the problem will always start.
Okay.
Because in the case where we have had cases where people defect without any reason, even in the National Assembly, for instance. I remember during the reign of Buhari, many people defected. It was almost about 50-50 between the legislative members of the PDP and the legislative members of the APC. And that was during Saraki. And we have bicameral legislation. So both the green chamber and the red chamber,
well,
they had similar challenge at that time. And then many of them, without any polarization in PDP then, defected to APC for a lot of political advantage. You know, when you align yourself with the government at the center, you wouldn't have much problem in terms of delivering dividend for democracy.
But should it be like that?
That is the unfortunate politics we have in Nigeria. It is not obtainable in places like US. You know, in fact, the opposition, they don't have any fear of any threat or any fear of intimidation or harassment or policy denial simply because they are in the opposition. So that is the beauty of our democracy, even though our democracy is gradually growing. So that time there was no obvious division in PDP. That's the point I'm trying to drive home. And then these people defected to APC. And then they enjoyed their stay. So this position brings us to the point that who determines who becomes a member or not.
Okay.
Yes. So we have to we have to be clear. The law have to be clear who determines a member. But once we keep on making blanket opinion like this, we will run into trouble. Because if I like today, if I'm the governor, I will say, oh, you have defected and your party is not polarized, it's not divided. So for that reason, you are no longer a member of the House of Assembly. Okay. Or if I'm the president, I will say, oh, you are no longer a member of a National Assembly, and since the police are under my control, I will stop you from entering or use the DSS or whatever I want to use to stop you from going there. So you can see that something drastically needed to be done about that the position, that kind of position. We cannot continue in this blanket approach. If a member is defecting, now who determines that those members have lost their seat? Is it Fubara? Is it the speaker? Or is it the court? So if it is the speaker has become a law to himself. If it is back to the problem that we are saying, if the House is actually independent of the executive. So you can see the problem is on and on. So we have to really amend that section of the law so that the law will clearly spell out who actually will determine if those people are members of the House or is it a political party. If you even talk about recalling, recently when we have issues with the Plateau State House of Assembly, I heard people saying, talking about you can even recall some of the members. The practicability of recalling a member today in Nigeria is near zero. Yes, because a certain percentage have to sign the register. And then if you go to INEC register today, you will see some people have died, some people are no longer within that constituency. So meeting up with that percentage is impractical.
Not to even talk about
interferences by not even to start, because you have to sign that recall before even the process will start. So most members, most of the registered members, you will see in most election, you will see a polling unit, maybe 1,300 registered members, hardly 300 will vote. There are so many factors. Maybe somebody, he is in UJ, for instance, he registered here and he has graduated, he will not be there. And his name will still be in that register. INEC really need to do a lot of work to poach the register of the list of people who are deceased. Because now, if you go there, you can never, it's practically impossible for you to meet up with that percentage that is required for you to impeach to recall a sitting member. So that provision is gradually becoming a law only on paper, but it's not implementable. But if INEC will be able to rise up to its responsibility and then poach the register, remove those people who are deceased and makes the register to be slimmer, then it will also help us in that process. And again, it also help in checking rigging, because why would the name of those people who are no longer alive be in the register? You know, it creates rooms for rigging. That is why you hear issues of overvoting and blah blah blah, because the register is it have a lot of issues. So INEC should really wake up in the process of register upgrade. They should find a way of checking those people who are not necessarily, they shouldn't be in that register.
All right, thank you very much, Barrister. Our listener and viewer, in case you are still tuned in, which of course I want to believe you are, you can join us on our Facebook page at Unity Radio FM /TVJOS. For Facebook, again, at Unity Radio FM/TV Jos. You connect with us live. And now back to Prof. Before even Prof begin from just anywhere, Barrister, later on, when we come back from the break later on, you'll be giving us a little about sports. I think it's time for us, Prof, to take our listener, lovers of football and other sporting activities, take a ride with us.
Well, let's quickly update our viewers and listeners with some of the news we discussed last week over the days. The students, abducted students of what do they call it, Confluence University of Science and Technology in Osara in Kogi State were rescued over the weekend. As of yesterday, they were still in the hospital undergoing rehabilitation. And I want to say kudos to the security forces. Of course, they have not told us what happened behind the scenes. They said there was heavy exchange of fire. As usual, they always say that between them and the abductors, the bandits, the terrorists that took these innocent children who were preparing for their first semester exams. So the security force said there was exchange of fire between them and that they abandoned the students. But I think that's a matter for discussion, maybe another time. We want to also update our viewers and listeners that finally our friend Yahaya Bello, the former governor of Kogi State, also has agreed to appear in court on the 13th of June 2024. Again, whether he will make good his promise, we'll wait to see, because that could also be a strategy. But the official information coming from his counsel is that he has agreed that he will appear, in person in court on the 13th of June, or so, the date that has been fixed for the next hearing. Then His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has scrapped the cybersecurity levy that was initially announced by the CBN. And I think it's good news.
It's a good news.
Yes, and I think people will be happy with the president. I think that will make him a little more popular.
Yes.
We increase his popularity, that he's a president that listens
least,
to the people.
Listening to the people in democracy, that's one of the essential elements of democracy, which we appreciate the president
and we expect
for
more.
listening to the masses. And we celebrate that decision.
Yes.
So kudos, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You're doing well. Thank you very much, sir. And we celebrate you.
Yes.
And we hope that you can do more. But let's talk about electricity tariffs. What is necessitating today's picketing. Picketing is a maybe fanciful name for a protest. And then picketing is expected that maybe just stand and then you don't harass anybody, but you show your disaffection with a decision that has been taken that affects you at your place of work, or affects your family or community and something like that. So, for example, those of us on the plateau have been mobilized. As of 8 a.m. this morning, we are supposed to have gathered at the NEPA headquarters on Ahmadu Bello Way to start the picketing. If you want to use a more harsher word, protest, against these tariffs. And this is a serious matter. Could be last night again, I loaded electricity units for a band A meter yesterday, 20,000, and it gave just 81 electricity units, and it even deducted 2,000. It says it's a debt. It has been doing that for a number of months. Maybe one of these days we'll just storm the disco office and find out why they're deducting 2,000 every month.
2,000.
Without any information. They said it's a debt. I think this is unacceptable.
Maybe this is just you.
Because
after you, maybe there could be a lot
do
of...
it for a number of people. They just pick people here and there. There was a time I was staying in one place. They would just do that. After some time they will stop. So I think we need to make noise about it. Some people might not know because they don't check the details after payment that a deduction has taken place. So you're spending 20,000 naira and you're getting only 80 to 82 units of electricity. Before you know it, within 1 or 2 weeks, you've exhausted it, you're coming back again. Is that sustainable? I was telling myself, this is not sustainable. How much is minimum wage? 30,000 naira. So the whole minimum wage will go into electricity. And the person will not eat, will not transport himself, will not pay medical bills, will not pay school fees of children, will not do any other thing. Just electricity alone. All the money, minimum wage 30,000 is gone. And the person doesn't even have heavy gadgets. Only a refrigerator and probably that's the only thing that consumes electricity. So this is unacceptable. This ban A, ban B, ban C, ban D is segregative. It is discriminatory, and we utterly reject it completely and absolutely. And the little tiny microscopic reduction in the tariffs that was given by the federal government, 18 naira or whatever it is just a tip of the iceberg. It is unacceptable. And that is why Nigerians are crying out and are saying that, look, this government, please, you must do something about what this discourse are doing and what the National Electricity Regulatory Commission is doing. It is not right. If you want to give electricity at the same rate to every Nigerian. Because when you say ban A, the industrial lines, Nigerians will be consuming the things produced by these industries. Nigerians are the ones that go to the hospitals that are on this industrial line. Nigerians, the common Nigerian is the one that will suffer at the end of the day. Look at the prices of commodities. Look at how difficult life has become for Nigerians. Look at what is happening. Nigerians are dying, committing suicide, frustrated, suffering depression, mental sickness of all kinds because of the hardship. And this is additional hardship on Nigerians. It is unacceptable. Please reverse the hike in electricity tariffs.
We're talking about reversal, Prof. It's a very big one here because these companies are also, in Nigeria. In the same way, other economic things are affecting every other Nigerian, so also is affecting this very company. So I try to imagine how would they be able also to pay they have staff, workers under them. So how do you want to balance this issue of total reversal?
Because they should have been more efficient. If they were efficient, Nigerians would not be complaining. The federal government should provide subsidy to electricity to help these companies. And these companies, they have various ways of getting more income for themselves. The money they were earning before is enough and more than enough to even pay their workers. They don't need to hike electricity tariffs to be able to pay their workers. I mean, we know how much they're earning. And what they're earning is far, far, far more than enough to pay their workers and to take care of themselves. It is all this capitalist kind of tendency to want to maximize profit at the detriment of the consumers. And this is why the federal government should come in and put a full stop, to this exploitation of the masses. If the discourse need help, the federal government should help them, but not at the detriment of Nigerians who consume this electricity.
Okay, Prof, thank you very much. Our viewer and listener, it's 8:30 on the dot this morning, and it's time for a very short break. And when we come back, we're going to have over the weekend review. We'll pick issues as we had them over the weekend. So please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your
Unity? Unity TV.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead.
So much, my very own brother and colleague, our GSM. It's lovely to hear you all the time calling our attention that it's time for us to come back on air so that our viewer and listener will have the opportunity to join in the conversations. Very, very interesting this morning. Well, in case you're just tuning on, I have to my right-hand side Barrister Paul Zaruma, an unbiased political analyst, and to my left, it has been Professor Paveno Hedge-Ba Mayi, Dean Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, University of Jos. And now it's the second segment of Unity Train this morning. And you know what? It's going to be an open mic edition because we will just put it on and we look at issues as we have them over the weekend. So you may want to be a part of it. So you can call our attention to any issue that you stumble on as it happens maybe locally or even internationally. That would be happy to hear from you. And remember, the studio line remains the same, 0703235315. And in case you want to join this open mic edition of a review at this transit segment, you can also throw your comments on Facebook. I get to read them later on. By the way, to join us on Facebook is at Unity Radio FM/TV Cheers. And now, let's go back to Prof was just talking about electricity, how hard that is becoming on you and myself in the studio, and that there should be a total reversal in terms of the pricing or the amount of money you ought to pay as it is that they want it. But then we're having this issue also that IMF is saying that federal government of Nigeria should stay away from anything that has to do with subsidy in terms of electricity. So, Prof, over to you.
Yes, IMF have always been giving advice to third world countries especially. Recall that in the 80s, it was the advice that brought the second tier foreign exchange market, that brought structural adjustment program, that brought the devaluation of our currency under IBB regime. And it kept weakening our currency. They brought in so many economic policies that the government just took hook, line, and sinker. And I want our viewers and listeners to tell me one country, one third world country that took IMF advice that is doing fantastically well today. Why is IMF always interfering?
Can you reject it as a country?
Oh yes, we can reject it. We have nations that have rejected their advice. They've given up, does America obey any IMF advice, or UK, or Germany? Why are they disturbing third world countries? Even India in recent times have rejected advices of IMF. China has rejected their advice. But these African countries will just swallow some of this advice, hook, line, and sinker.
Prof, World Bank would have to give us some loans at some point.
Why do we need World Bank loan?
The IMF would always assure World Bank that we stick to the world economic policy.
Why do we want to even collect loans? It's counterproductive. In fact, African countries, we should come together and reject the US dollar. It is imperialism, it is colonialism, it is retrogressive that I want to buy something from Ghana and I need the US dollar. I cannot buy it directly. I want to transact business with Kenya or with Uganda or South Africa and I need the US dollar. Why are we, punishing ourselves for nothing? It's high time African countries, we should come together and take our destiny in our hands and begin to use our own currencies. Why can't I transact business with Ghana in Ghanaian cities or Nigerian naira? Why do I need the US dollar? You see, this is the problem. Because you see, the United States, sometimes we compare ourselves with this imperialist and colonialist kind of regimes around the world. And we say, the United States of America is owing trillions of debt. So we also be borrowing and owing trillions, billions of dollars in debt and all that. We forget that these debts are in US dollars. So even if the United States of America, her debt is a quintillion dollars today. They don't have any problem. Do you know what they need to do to pay? Just print the US dollar. That's all. It's their own currency. But can we do that? We cannot print the US dollar. So we keep deceiving ourselves when we compare ourselves and say, oh, they borrow, they are owing a lot, so it's all right to borrow. We should stop borrowing. We don't need to borrow money to make it. We need to strengthen our industries, our factories. We need to invest in this country. We need to build our economy, make it strong, a force to be reckoned with, and then America will be afraid of us.
So if you're talking about a policy, public policy, a policy that has to do with every common Nigerian, and then here we talk about just a local issue that has to do with Executive Order 00324, that even compliance up to date, we're still battling on the plateau for people to just comply. And this is a policy that the entire country would have to support in some way or the other. Do you see this as realistic, as something that...
If we have a leader that has a strong will, if we have a choleric leader, somebody with the character, the strength, the stamina, the audacity, the charisma, to lead this nation into her great destiny, to lead this nation to the promised land, I mean that these things are very easy. Other countries have done it. Look at even near us here, we are talking about Rwanda, Paul Kagame. Economy is doing fantastically well. They're learning not to depend on colonialists. In fact, they have even changed from French and said, let's be using English. You know, and let's diversify our economy. Major decision that you can. His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu take that decision today and change our official language? I mean, he doesn't even have the courage, to do it. You will face a lot of opposition, and you need a leader that is strong. A leader that has the stamina, that has the charisma, has the character, has the integrity, has the inner strength to take a difficult decision and stand by it, and the people will see the fruit of the decision.
All right. Ahmed, our president has taken one, but we are still battling with it. Even while he was being inaugurated, the fuel subsidy thing, that is a bold step. But I think we just got politics. Let's visit Barrister Paul. I get to hear some political issues.
Add a little about this Yahaya Bello stuff. Yahaya Bello got caught up in the web. That is why you see that he's opting to appear before the court. On Friday, he brought in an application to stay the proceeding of his prosecution at the Federal High Court. And the Federal High Court overruled the application. In fact, they said they will not even listen to someone who is in active and constructive disobedience of court order. And as a result, he was caught up. So now, he brought in an application to that court. Now that the application has been to stop his prosecution by the EFCC, relying on the decision of the Court of Appeal, which initially he was against. Now he is now trying to use that decision of the Court of Appeal as a shield. But the Federal Court said, no, we are not going to listen to you. And that is why Yahaya Bello has now appealed. He is now working on appealing to Court of Appeal. So that is why you see Yahaya Bello is now opting to appear in court, because he had no option. And what the judge did, the Federal High Court judge did, was fantastic. Because you cannot be in disobedience of court order. And court has ordered severally that you should appear. You refuse to appear. Then in hiding, you are now looking for an order from the same court that you are evading. So the court said, no, you cannot be in hiding and then asking us to set aside our own order. We will not set it aside. And he had no option than to move to Federal Court of Appeal, and which possibly the Court of Appeal may also order for the consolidation of the action, because these are actions that are coming from court of coordinate jurisdiction. So this is a good development towards the prosecution of Yahaya Bello, because if they succeed in prosecuting corrupt leaders, it will serve as deterrence to other leaders. And this is what have really eaten up this country. We have said this over and over, and we are saying it for the optim time, that just like last week when we were talking about this issue of corrupt death sentence for those who are drug dealers, we added that law should have started with corrupt leaders. So this is a plus for the fight against corruption, and we encourage the EFCC to do the needful, to not to relent, to make sure that justice is served to Kogi people, justice is served to Nigeria, and justice is served to our democracy.
All right. I stumbled on a piece, and it has to do with this popular singer, Yemi Alade. I just want us to talk a little about it because it has a lot to do with the way some sort of immoralities are taking over our value system as it is right now. She said that because she has refused to give in to the demands by some people, in terms of immoralities, that has hindered her to be, have some award or being, nominated to be up there or to even get up to some major and bigger platforms that others have achieved. Well, and I feel in entertainment, in other professions that you have, sometimes you are faced with, you just giving into some immoralities before you are given the platform for you to, continue in life. But she is saying that she has refused, but now she find it worthy to appreciate the fact that she stood her ground and refusing it, and she has some few followers that are still supporting her, and that she is satisfied with that. And so, Prof, over to you on this.
Well, Yemi Alade, I want to ask her a few questions. She's 35 years old, born in 1989, 13th March. She has done fairly well in the entertainment industry, and but she's coming up with a complaint. We'll need to find out from her. Are you sure that is the reason? It is because you did not offer yourself to people, you did not give in to immorality. That's why you're having the challenge, the problem. And are you saying that everybody who is getting an award, who is becoming famous in the entertainment and fashion industry is somebody who necessarily is immoral, as it were?
No.
So,
yes,
those are
questions
we should ask her, because to come out and then say, I am the only saint, I am the only angel in the entertainment industry, so I am being persecuted, might not be right. We know that immorality is real in the entertainment industry. I've talked with an ex-beauty queen, and then she gave me some hard facts of things that go on behind the scenes. We know that immorality takes place. We know that sometimes some of the judges even sleep with contestants, for various fashion and entertainment positions and roles, and all such. We know that we have a lot of men in the entertainment and fashion industry who cannot zip up. They have committed a lot of immoral atrocities in this country and around the world. It is even because in Nigeria we have this culture of silence. That's why we've not had a lot of prosecution. Because here in Nigeria, if a girl is raped, they will say, keep quiet, don't disgrace the family, keep quiet, don't say anything. If an actress is raped, she'll be told, don't talk about it, they will laugh at you, and all this. So we have this culture of silence that is not helping us. And that is why a lot of these atrocities are covered up, and we don't even hear about them. Go to US, go to Europe, and you see people coming out. A lot of famous people in the industry, abroad, have been imprisoned. Some of them given 20 years, 30 years, even life sentences have been given to them. Some of them have died even in prison already. So I think it's high time we really look at this industry because a lot of things are covered up. And where you have immorality, where girls have to dress naked, almost naked, nudity is encouraged just for you to win an award, just for you to win a prize, just for you to become famous. I mean, it is unbecoming. It is against our culture. It is against our religious beliefs. And it is something that this industry needs to look into, because it has become too rather, normal in the industry. And well, I'm happy that Yemi Alade is the one bringing this up, because even herself, is she dressing well? I have a problem with her dressing. A lot of her dresses are provocative, showing sensitive parts of your body. Is that a good example? And she's talking about, sanitizing that industry and saying, I've kept myself. Have you really kept yourself? Or maybe you have problem with some of the people there in the industry, and you're coming out to talk now. Why have you not been talking for all these years? Why is it now that you're coming up to begin to talk? So there are lots of questions she needs to answer. But we know that a lot of evil and wickedness takes place in this industry, and it needs to be sanitized.
Oh, thank you very much. Except if Barrister has some more on this or any other issue. Now the studio line is on for you to begin the call. In between our analysis, we'll be picking your call. So please.
Yes, in the next 2 minutes, we'll just look at just a flash look at sports. We have to on a celebration mood. Nigerian sprint icon Tobi Amusan has become the world's fastest woman in the women's 100-feet hurdle after running a leading 12.40 seconds. In a thrilling race, the world record holder secured the victory, leaving behind Danielle Williams, the U.S. champion, who clocked her best time of the season at 12.46 seconds. Following closely was American Christina Clemon, claiming the third spot with a time of 12.45 seconds. So this is a beautiful one for our Tobi Amusan. She's doing well. This triumph means that Nigerian athlete has now claimed the top spot globally, surpassing American Tonya Mitchell, surpassing Tonya Mitchell's previous record of 12.42. The last winner was 12.42. So this is a great one for Tobi, even as we prepare for the next games that are coming ahead. So still on sports, on our local sports, Unity FM is a pan-Nigerian station. We are going to start with our Nigerian league. On the league now, Enugu Rangers is topping the league with 57 points, followed by Remo Stars with 56 points. Eyimba on the third with 53 points, and then Shooting Star on the fourth with 52 points. I think our Plateau United is on the sixth. That is too bad. We have been within second, third, and fourth, but now we have gone down to the sixth. It's too bad. Let's really wake up to see what we can rejig. And I want to still reiterate that we appreciate the management of Plateau United for slashing down the gate fee to 100 naira, so that every common Nigerian will be able to go to the stadium to cheer Plateau United. That has also added to the glamour of the stadium. Now, if you go to the stadium, it's not only the supporter side that are entertaining the fans. There is another splinter group that are doing wonderful. In fact, they are giving it a touch of Plateau culture, because they are using our local drum to support the team. So if you go on the top players in the league now, we have S. Alami of Remo Stars, and then followed by A. Hillary of our own Plateau United. Then the third person is R. Mitzo of Bayelsa United. These are the players that are topping the league now in terms of goal scoring. We pray that we'll do more. One of our players was trying to, but now he's no more in the list. We pray for him to go up. And if we move quickly, we're just giving a highlight for want of time. If we move quickly to the English team, our own Arsenal, or I will say my own Arsenal. I don't know which yours, Prof is celebrating.
It's left for Prof later on to respond.
My friend Ilya challenged me and said that Ilya of Easy Stores in Ferengada.
Yes.
He said, Zaruma, we are going to see this weekend.
Yes.
You are going to suffer. And then I'm glad to say that Arsenal is back to winning ways. And that's our team. We're proud of it.
But it's
Number
the way
one.
emphasizing
And then we have, yes. Then we have Manchester is following right behind Arsenal. We have Liverpool with 78 points. We have Aston Villa with 67 points. Then we have Tottenham with 63 points. If you go to France quickly, you will see we have PSG with 70 points. We have Monaco with 64 points. We have Lille on the third row with 58 points. We have Brest with 58 points. And then let's jump to Germany. We have Bayer Leverkusen with 87 points. We have Bayern Munich following with 72 points. We have Stuttgart with 70 points. We have RB Leipzig with 64 points. If we jump to Italy, you have Inter Milan with leading with 92 points. You have AC Milan following with 47 points. You have Bologna with 67 points. And you have Juventus at the fourth place with 67 points. Let's also jump to Spain. We have Real Madrid with leading the table in Spain with 90 points. We have Girona with 75 points. We have Barcelona. The popular Barcelona is now on the third spot with 73 points. We have Atletico Madrid with 70 points. So these are the few highlights that we can get in the sporting segment.
All right, that has been lovely.
Let's
that has been lovely.
That today,
yes,
the NFF will officially unveil Finidi George as the head coach of the Super Eagles in Abuja. In a simple ceremony today, he will officially be declared as the head coach of Super Eagles. So today, as the ceremony takes place in Abuja, we will celebrate Finidi George. He's 53, born 15th April 1971. So want to celebrate him and hope that during his days as head coach of the senior men team, Nigeria will do a lot of exploits in the world of football. Colby, can we quickly just also comment that Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, and Princess Meghan, who is the Duchess of Sussex, have been in the country for 3 days. They just left yesterday, and it's been a very eventful days for them in Nigeria. Meghan herself did in 2022 this genealogy test, and the test showed that she's 43% Nigerian. So for her, it is like coming back home. You know, a lot of these celebrities and public figures around the world are trying to trace their ancestry. So in 2022, I think it was in the month of November when she did hers, it shows us that 43% of her is Nigeria. And so she said publicly when she came, I'm happy that I'm coming home. In fact, she has been given an Igbo name, Ifeoma, and then they have given her a Yoruba name, Omowale. Ifeoma means something treasured, a treasured thing. And Omowale means a child has come home. You know, so I want to celebrate Prince Harry and Princess Meghan, and we hope that they really enjoyed their stay here in Nigeria, especially Prince Harry, who is into catering for these servicemen who got injured during the course of their service. He even played with some of our soldiers. They played sitting volleyball because some of them have been injured, their hands amputated or legs, you know, and things like that. So we're very happy that the Duke of Sussex and the Duchess of Sussex were here in Nigeria and had a fantastic time. We want to also celebrate our nurses, because yesterday was the International Nurses Day worldwide. And it is wonderful that we have nurses in our hospitals who lay down their lives for patients. Could be just here in Nasarawa State.
Yes.
A few weeks ago, a nurse collapsed at the Nasarawa State Hospital last year, collapsed during work, and she died. And she's the breadwinner of her family. They are overworked. Nurses that work from morning till evening till night, and the hospitals are understaffed. The doctors are overworked, the nurses are overworked, the midwives overworked, and they're laboring for a very meager pay compared to their counterparts in UK and the US that are earning 10 times the salary of nurses in Nigeria. So we must celebrate the nurses who have chosen to remain in Nigeria to help our health system. Because you will recall that just in the last 5 years, 75,000 nurses have left Nigeria in the Japa syndrome. 75,000. That means 15,000 nurses every year leave Nigeria. They go to UK, they go to the US, Germany, Saudi Arabia, and other places. 15,000 every year. So in just 5 years, we've lost 75,000 nurses to the Japa syndrome. And it is because our government, they're not taking good care of health workers. And so as we celebrate and remember these international nurses, they want to appeal to local government, state government, federal governments, even the private sector in this country, that please, what you are doing to our nurses is not good. The mega income, mega small tiny salary you're giving them is not encouraging, considering that they're laying down their lives, considering all the hazards they go through, the occupational hazards, all the stress, and that we're losing many of them due to stress. They're dying. The governments at all levels should wake up, do something about the health sector. Let's improve the welfare of our nurses. Let's improve their working conditions. Some of them in Nasarawa State, I keep referring to our neighbors here, because some of them contracted Lassa fever. Nasarawa State is one of the states endemic for Lassa fever, and they also lost their lives. And when we have pandemics, we have nurses, doctors, other health workers dying. Yet their salary is just peanuts. They have a take-home pay that cannot even take them home. So as we remember the International Nurses Day, we want to appeal to our political leaders that please do something about the welfare of nurses in this country so they can have a more meaningful life. Some of my friends who are nurses are outside this country. One of them I know has been away for more than 20 years. He has not returned. Even though he loves Nigeria, he has refused to come back. One of them just called me. I said, hello, this is a foreign number you're using. She said to me, I am in the UK. When did you go to the UK? She said, my husband has joined and my family also. We're in the UK. The way I was being treated in Nigeria, I don't like it, so I left. And many more of them are going. Give them the slightest opportunity and the slightest excuse, they will leave Nigeria. They will go to other countries where they are respected, other countries where they are celebrated. So nurses and midwives, we celebrate you on this platform. We want to thank you for giving to Nigeria. We want to thank you for laying down your lives, for the citizens of this country. We want to appreciate you, those of you who have stayed back in spite of the fact that there are greener pastures out there where you earn 10 times or more your present salary, but you chose to remain in this nation, Nigeria. We celebrate you, our nurses. We celebrate you, our midwives across Nigeria.
It's 9 o'clock and it's time for another short break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
Get ready to be entertained and inspired by the incredible stories around the globe. Don't miss out on the excitement. Hello at Work is an ultimate TV program that brings to you the interesting stories and daily happenings worldwide. Join us Mondays and Thursdays, 10 a.m. as we dive into the daily happenings and stories. Tune in and stay. Say hello to the world as you bring in your ideas, as it is a perfect blend of entertainment and information. Get ready to stay up to date while being entertained.
Are you bored and need some company? Get a TV experience like no other on Unity TV. We are turning up the hits with captivating TV shows, electrifying political programs, music, movies, and lots more that will leave you craving. I'm sure you want to know more. Tune in to Unity TV today and let the excitement take over.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again.
You with us on this very dial. That is Unity Trend, Unity 93.3 FM, Unity TV, the voice of reason. It has been Unity Trend since 8 o'clock this morning, and we just have but 25 more minutes to go, and we ended for today's edition. In the studio, it has been Barrister Paul Zaruma and Professor Pavena H. Bamayi. Now it's time for you to actually join the conversation. It's actually your own time, and so please, I would love to have you call the studio line 070-3235-3315. If you call, just tell me your name and locations. You go straight. In a minute, let's have your submission. You can take us to just any issue that you feel it's good for us to make noise about. I would truly appreciate. But please, 1 minute. And then your comments and statements should be one that will help promote national unity. That's what we stand for. Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you for calling.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Sadiq Umar. I'm calling from Eastern.
All right, Sadiq Umar, you have a minute.
Yeah, I'm speaking very, very well, and educated about the happening on the issue that you have raised. My first comment is on this issue of the country in River State.
All right.
The politics in Nigeria have now gone to another thing. They're more democratic in nature. You have things have been to other states when it comes to the issue of state solidarity. If you look at the thing that is happening here, it's the play the state of state solidarity in that river state. And people are supposed to use the barrage to run the go against the government without any interference. But you see the way the state is a state advocacy lead to the situation that we are having.
All right.
I think the constitution has said that if you look at the parties abroad, I don't think they are in the other party. I don't going to vote. I don't going to vote. I think it will resign totally. So that is the backers.
All right.
That is the issue of our law. It's very, very unfortunate that nothing service is something that is very important in our health sector. But you see, the problem that we are getting, the government are not doing much more to see that the service of the north are
Okay.
You see that these laws are in more hardship and there's no improvement of salaries in their hardship. So let the government do something.
Thank you so much, Sadiq Umar. Thank you, Sadiq Umar, for calling. And on Facebook, this one say, hello, good morning, Mr. Presenter. I'm watching you live from Kambar, Kebbi just now. Thank you, and it's coming from Garba Nahali, Kambar, Kebbi. All right, and more calls. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you, your name?
Okay, from Kubaruk.
Okay, thank you for joining us from Rukubarut. Let's have you in a minute.
I agree with the Professor Bami about this. The African leaders can come together and work with one currency.
Okay.
It's going to help us a lot. I remember when the late Libya president is trying to do something like that. But unfortunately, I don't know what happened. Lost his life between the crisis in Libya.
All right.
And I just want them to, federal government, to see what they can do on the fuel subsidy so that the people are suffering. I don't know.
Thank you.
People are having a good time, but I don't know. They don't know about other people. If they can make a fuel, even though it's 400, so like that, 350 is okay.
All right. Thank you.
The so-called government, most of them don't buy fuel in police station. They have their own stations direct.
Okay.
I don't care what price it is.
All right. Thank you for
Inside
calling.
here, outside here.
Thank you.
So that's my contribution.
All right. Truly appreciate you for calling. And on Facebook, Kaminu Abdullahi Shabu say good morning, Kubi and Professor and the Barrister. Always my pleasure to hear your voices. I'm watching you live from Rika's Yansementi. What's happening in Basa is very unfortunate. So we are calling the state governments to bring out those who perpetrated on such evil acts to face the law. Let's maintain peace always. There is no ultimate to peace. Thank you for sending in your Aminu Abdullahi Shuaibum. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Professor in the house.
Thank you for
Good
calling.
morning, Barrister. My name is Rudy from Terminal.
Kingsley Barnabas, I believe. Thank you.
Yes, my brother. God bless you.
You have a minute. Please. Thank you.
Let me be special to one of the station back and day. But without him now in this station, we cannot be expecting and people hearing our voice.
Thank you.
God bless him and his family.
Amen.
What I'm saying this morning is the issue of leper tariff. My brother is too much. How can I put a charge of 20,000 naira? It's only 41 units again. And where is the issue now that we need them? They just fold out their hands. And when it comes to the own, they start talking. You understand? My brother, we are suffering here in Nigeria. We are cheering for fuel. We are cheering for NEPA. We are cheering for life. We are cheering for water. Everything.
Health, even health.
People are dying every day. People are dying every day in this country. I don't know where the government wants us to go. Honestly, my brother, let this government propose the common man to the street. Because if they propose them, I don't know whether they are going to hold us.
Thank
my
you.
brother, this is very, very hard.
Yes.
Please, I'm begging the government.
Thank you for calling.
Revise the issue of this tariff of NEPA.
All right.
We are suffering, honestly. May God bless our country, Nigeria, bless our places.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kingsley Barnabas. And on Facebook, this one say good morning, Kubi, and the Prof. Barrister Zaruma in this house. Especially thanks to Almighty God to see you back again to continue to educate us truth. The nations keep the good work going. May the Almighty God continue to bless you and all the Unity staff, radio, TV. Thank you so much. And that was from Fidila. All right, thank you. And another one says, good morning, Kubi, and the professor in the studio. All of you, may Allah reward you both for the great work you are doing out there. And it's from Favor Esther Bulus. Thank you, Favor Esther. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you for joining us. It's Unity 93.3 FM.
Yes, thank you. This is Benedict. Your voice is actually sent here.
All right, sorry about that. Yours is a bit down, or unlike you. You're welcome.
Yes, good morning, Kubi, and good morning to the
Barrister, yes, and Prof. You're welcome. You have a minute. Go on, Mr. Benedict.
The last caller just mentioned that the DPP tariff at this particular point, I think Nigerians are struggling to use it. It's a project, and they are unacceptable to Nigerians. The constitution of Nigeria has it that the principal responsibility of any government, be it military government, be it a civilian government, is to take life and property, and also to make the Nigerians, the citizens happy. Whether you're a foreigner, whether you're an indigenous of the country, you should be happy in a country called Nigeria. And God has blessed this country to make the country to make every single person happy in this country. There was a time in this country, leaders are sharing resources and fighting other nations, even though I was not born then. But I had a history, some history I was not to understand that there was some Nigerians, and the government was inviting other countries to come and enjoy from the wealth of this country. And I didn't know what has happened to it over time. But then, we are going to pay more on the electricity service.
All right.
What has happened to the money that is made from the removal of such subsidies? How can Nigeria benefit from the removal of such subsidies? Because you see that in the time of Jonathan, when such subsidies was attempted to be removed, we say subsidies on ground.
Okay.
They attempt to remove the such subsidies. The current president of Nigeria, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is this and then mobilized to nobody is saying anything about the transition of the definition of them. Who are supposed to promise Nigerians the LGBT?
All right, thank you.
I don't know. I don't have the information. I don't know if they change the basis I know.
Mr. Benedict.
One year now after the legal exchange subsidy, we cannot say anything of them. Now, if they remove the person, then
Mr. Benedict, thank you so much. All right. All right, thank you, Mr. Benedict. All right, thank you, Mr. Benedict. Wonderful points there. And this one is saying, good morning, may Allah bless you. And it's coming from Mama Aliyu. Thank you, Mama Aliyu on Facebook. And Asubagun Francis, good morning, gentlemen. And it's another day again. What a privilege from our Creator. Let us make use of the day judiciously and never give up, no matter the impossibilities, distance between us and the politicians, bad government policies against the poor masses. We will succeed indeed. I say amen to that, Subogum Francis. And another one from Best Titus say, good morning, Unity FM. Seriously, government should try his best in order to give out loans to citizens to reduce food crisis in the country. Love you, Unity FM. Thank you. Okay, that's the much we can take probably on Facebook. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Good morning.
Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Thank you.
Hello?
You are live on Unity 3.3 FM. All right, 07032353315 is the studio line. 07032353315 is the studio line. Hassan Garba, thank you so much for always sending your message to me. Delhi, he checks on me. Delhi, wow. Apologize, I check on you monthly, but you check on me daily. Wow, it's a challenge. I try to step up. Maybe I come weekly, and then I get to learn to be like you. Check on you daily. Hassan G. Hello, good morning. Hello. Okay, that's not too good. How is your night and the family, God? May Allah grant us the favor of love and forgiveness and life and the blessings of today and beyond. I mean, good morning, sir. Hassan G, thank you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Your name?
Pastor from Redwood here.
Of course.
I don't have much credit. You see, the issue of oil subsidy. The federal government is dealing with Nigeria and creating a lot of problem with that subsidy is gone.
All right.
We didn't know what they are doing with that money up till now. We have been expecting the government to define what that money from the oil subsidy is used for. Up till today, we have not known what it's used. What they are using that money for.
Okay.
Having said this, the breaking of houses, the shops in Cook here, I want to urge my people that are there, please come down. It is all for good. Mufwan administration meant good for this state. If you go to terminals and see how the various places have been cleared, it's something that we need to give him support.
All right.
And somebody came and told me that it will hamper his re-election. But I believe so much that it will not be a problem during 2027 election for Mufwan to continue.
All right.
Doing it this way. Thank you very much.
Pastor Eric, thank you for lending your voice on that. We'll give time later on. Good morning to you all once more. In fact, I am contemplating leaving my business because I'm getting nothing in return. I only pay for electricity. Please, government, do something. And it's coming from Anas Laranto. Anas, oh my. It's a hard one here to bear. Good morning, Mr. Kobe, Professor PH, and Barrister Paul Zaruma. I sincerely sympathize with the family of Dr. Jaffe, who murdered by unknown people. May his gentle soul rest in peace. Amen. Please stay safe. Watch your movements. Dangerous people are out there. Everywhere. Thank you at Ismail Isa. Jos Ismail Isa, thank you so much.
Indeed, dangerous people are everywhere. Even here in Jos, somebody was murdered last week along Nips Road at Kuru.
Exactly.
He was killed and his dead body was just thrown there by the street. And they left with his phone, but they left the vehicle and the keys. They were just interested in killing him. And this happens all over the place. In fact, we have many deaths, that are not being reported. You don't read them in the news. They are not on the newspaper. So it is not really very safe out there. We need to be careful the places we go to. If you're going out, make sure somebody is informed. Make sure somebody is monitoring your movement. One of your friends or family members, like the Bolt that Dr. Japheth Nuhu Pata entered, Bolt and Uber, there is a device you can share your location with a family member or friend. They can be monitoring you as you're moving, and then if something happens at a certain point, you're not moving again, or the vehicle is taking a different direction, the person can call and say, what is happening? One woman was monitoring the movement of her daughter to the airport, and then suddenly she saw that the Uber just took a different route, and she just called the driver and said, where are you taking my daughter to? Where are you taking my daughter? Then the Uber gave the daughter and said, it's your daughter. They said we should turn back. She forgot something.
All right.
So they came back home. So people should put in some personal security measures for our own safety.
Personal security measures. Now, back to our SMS again, and this one say, good morning, Unity FM. Could be Professor and Barrister Zaruma. Thank you for the good work. Plateau State religious ladies should be very serious in preaching the peace in their various worship centers. Please, peace is priceless. I want to remind the happening governor about Sukuba Road. It's too narrow. Very unfortunate that we are not going to enjoy the new buses. If you see something, say the thing. Daniel Adam, the lady.
So
he has said something, he's saying the thing.
It's very narrow. Up to the barracks.
Yes.
It's very necessary.
Otherwise, those big buses cannot follow that road.
And not just the big buses. Now, you see even a lot. Development is taking side at this region and at this axis. And of course, to just dualize it, I think is a very big one.
It's very necessary.
Long overdue.
We are calling upon the government
military barracks
to look at that Rukuba Road leading to the military.
You have to see the incredible speed.
And very necessary that they dualize that road. They should also dualize the road that is close to Tomatoes Market, the road linking Tomatoes Market to permanent sites. Then, if possible, the ring road too, from Bauchi Junction through the ring road. They have already dualized it up to Lamingo Junction. So I think we are calling on the government to look into that.
And they should repair the road to Bassa.
Yes.
20 years. That
And
Bassa
I'm
road
sure
has suffered.
how I wish
The rainy season could be. Go take that Bassa road and see.
The roads to
I don't
Bassa
think a barrister can drive his car through that road, even though his car is high up, it has a higher suspension. But that road is terrible.
It is.
Bassa needs a road. If we have a fantastic road to Bassa, before you know it, Bassa and Jos will just be one city.
Yeah, exactly. And you reminded me also to talk about the Ferengeda community. I've been there like 3 times on different occasions, invited by the youth leader Zuma Jang and his team. And no, it's not good looking at all.
The street network of roads.
Okay. Hello.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
Could be.
Thank you.
I'm Prof and Barrister.
You have a minute. Your name?
Thank you. This is Jude from Joshua.
Thank you, Jude Sat. You might be our last caller today. Go on.
Thank you. I'm still emphasizing on your main market, as is that people always occupy the road. You see now, if these buses now, as somebody from Kuba Road said, the roads are narrow.
Yes.
And now they already put terminal site in shape. But those people that are standing there is a serious threat to that buses. And I said it in the morning. And Prof, I once said it. Those people that are standing by the side close to them, Mr. Dix.
Yes.
That are spreading their clothes or their goods.
Or anywhere else.
Thank you very much. The government is supposed to clear those. Anybody that don't have shop, they are supposed to evacuate that place.
Thank you.
For the security of those buses. Because they are saying that if they allow let them not to stay there, they will And we will not stand and watch that kind of thing happen on Plateau.
Thank
that
you.
place is not shop.
Thank you so much.
That place is main road. Let them go inside the market as the government has directed them to do.
All right.
Good morning.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jude Sat.
Go inside the market.
Yes, sir.
I think they should be arresting those people. Why are we wasting time with them?
All
Let's
right,
create enough space in the prison
and then
keep them there.
And then again,
All right.
the government
Please, let me
should also explore the VGN. Because it appears they have shortage of manpower in implementing this order 003, so they should employ this. They should engage the services of this.
Okay, let me just
complement the manpower because the population in Terminus is a little bit large.
Yes, it is. And the morning. Okay, the last one for an SMS today. Say good morning, could be Prof. B and Barrister Zaruma. I stand by the NLC if they can stand their ground to ensure there is total reversal of electricity hike because Nigerians are really suffering. Also, the FCT minister should leave Governor Fubara alone and allow River State people to breathe. Congrats to Real Madrid for lifting La Liga title and hoping to win the 5th Champion League title. God bless Nigeria. Nadeomi from Bachiri Road. And that's the much we can take. And still talking about the need to comply, I want to appreciate Turn by Turn Plaza. The reason is because he would always have his trucks parked by the roadside. But with this executive order, Turn by Turn created a place, made a place for his trucks. They don't park by the roadside again. Just think of something, comply, and keep making your business blossom instead of just standing to, fight against the policy, which of course is meant to help us. Turn by Turn Plaza, Rukubaro, we truly appreciate you for that. And of course, DO5 also, along Rukubaro and Onibinde. And that's the most we can take for today's edition, except if Barrister and Prof will say hello or bye-bye.
Well, Wike, please leave Fubara alone. Let me say that again and again. So you can run the state. Nobody interfered with you.
All right.
If Rotimi Amechi did something, it was very little. Allow Fubara to run the state. But let me seize this opportunity, could be to welcome the new sector commander of the Federal Road Safety Commission to Plateau State, Mr. Babatunde Farindoye. He just took over the weekend from the former sector commander, Alphonsus Godwin. Right. So, Mr. Babatunde Farindoye, welcome to Plateau State. Please enjoy your stay as the FRSC sector commander for Plateau State. Exactly.
I actually made efforts to call the PRO so that he could speak to us on this. Bye-bye, Barrister.
Yes, I also lent my voice to to celebrate our nurses, with particular reference to Madam Victoria Bayi, who is the leader of Nurses of Jutes. We celebrate nurses for their selfless service, for their service to humanity. And we pray also that the government will hearken to our call to improve on the lives of nurses and other Nigerians in general.
Right. Thank you so much, Barrister and Prof, for being in the studio all the time. We truly appreciate. And I also want to say thank you, our GSM, for always being there and making sure that on the TV there is no problem at all. I appreciate, and of course, members of your crew. I also appreciate DJ Bass and Engineer Tijani. Of course, not forgetting Barrister Sam Talks, Barrister Munir Barao, and also Dr. Bello Ismail, and all of you. Tomorrow is going to be another lovely day, and I pray that you will stay tuned for other programs coming your way, especially in Gas Community Broadcast that is just coming after this very show on Radio M. Have yourself a lovely day ahead. Bye. Bye.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead.